Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so today is Halloween in the United States. It is Friday, October 31st. It is 6:12 p.m. exactly. So this video is not going to come out for probably the next day because I have a video coming up right now in 2 minutes. Quick edit, I'm going to upload it right now. So first of all, I want to wish you guys a happy Halloween. I hope you guys had a great time. Hope you got a lot of candy and ate it all and got a stomach ache and all that good stuff that goes with it. And this video is really going to be it's going to be kind of a general video about the overall theme and what's been happening with this channel for the last, I'd say, 4+ years, 5 years. And if you guys have noticed, there has been a shift that happened. I would say it happened about 3 to 6 months ago. And I don't think it's just me. I think a lot of you, okay, so let's start here. Here's my feeling and my intuition that I'm getting is I think a lot of you have went through a pretty good shift over the last 12+ months, and I think it's been fairly recent, say 6 months and closer. A lot of you guys have just kind of overcome the narcissist abuse, the fear, the pain, the hurt, and I think you guys are just moving on. You're living your life. Now with me, something absolutely shifted about 3 months ago. It's like I graduated. I don't know how to explain it. It's the inner peace I have inside it, and I've explained this in other videos. There is just no resistance anymore. It's just not there. It's a very peaceful, very content life right now. Things are just nice. I don't know how to explain it. Things don't bother me. Things that people would do to me used to bother me. Now I just kind of keep walking on, like no big deal. Like I'll give you like a mini example. I was about half a mile from the Golden Gate Bridge. I was riding my bike, and I was all the way over to the left. I was actually touching the fence, taking a picture, and there was 1 or 2 other people kind of behind me, and about not quite as close. But this guy comes the other way, yelling and screaming. He's probably 50 years old, and all mad because, what are you doing? And it was early in the morning. I remember it was probably only about 7, maybe 6:30, and the sun wasn't quite up. It was fairly dark, but you could see each other clearly. And he just started cussing at us, and I'm looking at him like, really? Now here's the thing. Years ago, that would have really kind of peed me off to the point where I probably would have chased him down and started screaming back at him. Just to let him feel what he made, because it wasn't me. The people behind me, they were from another country and they were having so much fun, and this guy really hurt them. And I just like, God, what a dick. Like, why? He's an older guy, so I'm assuming he's probably on steroids or TRT, which makes men have a lot of like anger and emotions and stuff. So the reason why I say that, I live in an area where a lot of men do that here, like a lot. So I've seen it before, etc., but I don't know what it was. I just kind of, okay, whatever. And as I started riding away, I thought, oh, that's so weird. Normally I would have kind of this knot or this tight feeling in my solar plexus. I had nothing but peace. I made a video as I was riding away about that, and I don't think I uploaded it. So here's my message, at least on my side of the fence. So, well, for you, number one, I think a lot of you guys have moved on. I think emotionally you guys are doing a lot better. Maybe not all of you, but I have a feeling a lot of you are just like, you're just out there living your life now. And I think people that are doing narcissist abuse videos now, it's like they're reaching for straws, they're repeating stuff, and it's just like, it's kind of and I could be completely wrong, because I think people are in different phases. Some people might be just entering that dark phase of, oh my God, and I don't think everyone enters it at the same time. But I kind of have a feeling, though, society is like, okay, we got this, we understand what's going on now. And I think there's been kind of a subtle peace that's kind of settled across a lot of people. Now, for myself, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. I'm just something about, I don't have that internal resistance anymore, and I don't know how to explain it. It's just a really nice place to be. And because of it, though, I don't have the fire to make videos, especially about narcissism, because I just don't care. I'm just not in that space anymore. So another thing that I had a realization, it was about 4 nights ago. I saw a video, and I don't know what, I don't even remember the video, but it dawned on me, what is my purpose here on the planet? It's emotional freedom. Because, you know, the book of Genesis, when the serpent tricked Adam and Eve, and that's a thing you guys have to realize, neither one was wrong. Adam and Eve were naive. They didn't know what was going on. They were tricked by a very crafty being. And God makes it really clear who told you that you were naked, meaning they didn't know what the hell that was before, and they were made to feel ashamed, and thus that's the original sin. Now you're thinking, oh, they did something wrong. No, they didn't do anything wrong. The original sin literally means that you close off from your right brain, and the artery in the lower reptilian brain gets narrow because of states of fear of any kind: shame, guilt, confusion, doubt, fear, panic, anxiety, etc. It does that. So all the work I've done over the years, even 25, 30 years ago, my number one goal was to open people back up. At the time, I didn't quite make the connection between the Bible, you know, the tree, you know, the forbidden fruit, etc. So I want to ask you guys this question. Do you guys understand what I mean by emotional freedom? It means to be free, like where you don't have any tight feelings in your gut. You don't feel shame. You don't feel fear of, oh, what if I think this or what if I say that? You just like, I'm just free. I'm just at peace and at ease. So all the work I've done with people, even helping people out of narcissist abuse, because what is narcissist abuse? What did the serpent do in the garden? He got Adam and Eve to feel the shame, guilt, and fear, and confusion and doubt, and it tightened up their solar plexus, which tightened up the artery in the lower reptilian brain, because whenever you're in a state of fear, it narrows because it tightens up, and thus less blood flow goes up into your right brain, the emotional processor, and thus you're in a state of fear versus emotional freedom. So in my course, Crack the Female Code, I mean, I started doing that in my mid-20s. The number one thing I do with men is I get them to open up to the right brain, which means you get them past that, you know, that fear, and open up emotionally, and they feel very, very comfortable. And so it dawned on me about 4 nights ago, maybe a little bit more. It was like, man, I've been doing the same work for 30 plus years in different areas, from narcissist abuse, helping men overcome their fear, to just feel comfortable talking to women, approaching women. It's a very nice, natural thing. And it dawned on me, like, what am I doing? I'm helping people in all walks of life, whether it's panic attacks or anxiety or fear or whatever they're going through, narcissist abuse, depression, or, you know, men talking to women, etc. I'm just helping them to open up emotionally, to be emotionally free. So what it does for people, it helps you to be very, it's really weird, because most people think power is resistance. It's like you flex your muscle, you flex your face muscles, your forehead, and you feel tight. And a lot of people think that's power. It's not. Power is when you don't have to flex, when you don't have to tighten your forehead and put a serious look on your face and flex your muscles or even push or pull. Power is when you're completely relaxed, completely content, and you communicate from that space. Okay, so let's do a little bit of Halloween stuff. So this, I don't know if I want to call it a fact, but it kind of is. It's kind of a darker fact, and I guess Halloween's kind of a good time to say it. We are in Scorpio season, and because of that, and by the way, I am a Scorpio, people tend to die during Scorpio season. That just tends to be a thing. So here is my feeling, my premonition, my intuition. I think some of your enemies are going to die. And I don't mean that in a bad way, to wish bad on them. That's not where I'm coming from. It is just a feeling. I have a feeling some of these people are going to die in Scorpio season, and we are in it right now. There it is. That is my dark thing for the Halloween. All right, here's my next thing. It's gonna be two things. I think the one kind of transitions into the second. I do believe there is going to be a shift or a subtle change. And, you know, I'm going to go right into the second thing. You guys know that Comet? I think they're calling it Atlas 31. Let me Google it real quick so I say it right. I think it's actually 3i Atlas. It might be 31 Atlas, but I think it's 3i Atlas, so it's either one. So here's my feeling about that. So I haven't really said anything about it. And I think Halloween's a great time because it is kind of a, kind of a spooky kind of time. It's kind of a fun time too. So my intuition, my premonition, I'm not sure what the word I should say is. I don't know if it's an alien thing. There's a couple of astronomers that were like, wait a minute, I think it slowed down at one point and then it sped back up, and it did something else. I think it slightly changed course at one point, and they're like, okay, this is different. And there was a couple other things, the colors coming off. There was something, I forget what it was, but it's different, and it made a lot of actual professional astronomers, physicists say, hey, what is this thing? So I'm going to give you my take on it. Okay, I'm going to say it right off the bat. I believe this thing is going to shift consciousness. I believe right now we're at, I think even today, maybe it's tomorrow, November 1st. I might actually upload this tonight. I'm not sure yet. I think we are going to complete the entrance into the age of Aquarius. It's the final step transitioning from Pisces. So when you transition from one age to another, just kind of like, okay, right now we're almost in Mercury retrograde. I think we got another 4 to 5 days to go. We are in the shadow of it, so we're starting to feel the effects, and we have for the last couple of days actually. So it's not like it's black and white, at this exact minute, hour, and day, boom, you're in no, the energy is transitioning from one to the other. And the same thing with going from Pisces to age of Aquarius. So I believe this is kind of, it's like the final thing that's going to shift the energy. Because, okay, one of the things that this comet did was, I forget what planet it was. It might have been Mars, but it went by a planet, and it kind of laid down a ton of some kind of, I don't know if it was nickel or some kind of element. It kind of laid it like a pattern down, or a pathway onto whatever planet or moon it was going by. So there's a reason why I say this is going to shift our consciousness, especially those of you that are already awakening and, more awake than others. What it may end up doing is waking up those who are still asleep or fighting it. Because some people are like, you could see, like they're holding on with their face, like I am not going to wake up. So they're still fighting it. I think this might flip those people. I think it's going to just like flip the switch, and they're going to be open there, and they're just going to be, it's going to be hard for them to deal with. But I'm not going to go down that path right now. Okay, so when I was 28 years, I think, what was it called? Halley's Comet or whatever it was. I forget. It was 1996, around this time, actually. I think it was the summer of, and late summer, and I think it was early fall. And I think it went into November, if I remember right, because it was after my birthday when I went through this huge spiritual awakening. It was my 28th birthday. And what happened was I had been meditating for years at that point. I don't know how many years. It would be a wild guess, 6 years, 7, 8, I don't know. And at that point in time, I was meditating a minimum 2 hours a day every single day. And I think it was at that point where I stopped going to the gym and I stopped working out for 2 years. I was just meditating instead. So what happened was when the comet began to show up in the sky after sunset, when it started getting dark, how do I explain this? Okay, so but normally when you would look up at the sky, it was just like a flat, how do I explain this? Like a flat painting almost, like there's stars there so far out that there's no depth perception when you looked up at the night sky, right? Now the moon would come up, but because it was the only thing there, it was almost like that didn't really add to depth perception. But when Halley's Comet, or whatever the name of that comet was, that came out in 96, I remember looking up and it did something to my brain. I felt something inside shift because it was beyond the moon, but not too far away. It added like a 3D dimensional effect to the night sky, and all of a sudden the stars and the moon, they had this 3D effect for me. And I don't know how to explain that, but I will tell you something. I remember the first time I looked up, and I'd meditated for a couple hours before I went out. Something inside me shifted, and I felt it. There's no two ways about it. Something clicked, something shifted, because it gave me that depth, it allowed me to shift to, I believe, a different part of my brain, or it allowed me to perceive things in a different way. That's the best way I can explain it. And my awakening, that I call it the Great Awakening, for me, it was a 6-month amazing. It was, I could read people's minds. A lot of people in my life at the time will tell you to this day, like, yeah, that guy, okay, my sister, she pulled out some, I go, pull out some cards, watch this. I go, hold up a card, look at it, but you have to image the actual card, the color, and the number, if it's king, queen, or 5, 6, whatever, and then the shape of whatever it is, and whether it's black or red, okay, like red hearts, black hearts, whatever. And I will tell you exactly what it is. And she's like, oh, come on. She had 2 friends there. I nailed it, 10 in a row. And she's like, how are you doing this? She goes, oh, you must have marked the cards. So back then they used to gamble a lot, or play cards a lot back then. So she went back to her room, got a brand new pack, and it was her deck of cards. It wasn't mine, by the way. And she got back a brand new deck of cards, unwrapped from the plastic, and I was boom, 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 and she started crying. She's like, how are you doing this? I'll be honest with you, it kind of freaked me out too, to be honest with you. There's a lot of things that I did, from healing people to telling people, hey, that house is going to burn down by this time. When me and my ex-girlfriend went to Buddha Calm and Laotian Temple in Stockton. It was about an hour and 15 minutes away. So when we were about 10 minutes away from Temple, going through the country, I looked over, like, oh, that house is going to be burned down by the next time we come back. And sure enough, we came back 5 days later, and the house was completely burned down. And she goes, how did you know that? And I was like, I don't know. It's like, how am I doing any of this stuff? I'm talking fast because I really don't want to go too in depth, because I've shared a lot of these stories in the past. But it was a great awakening for me, and it lasted for 6 months. It was the most incredible thing. And what happened was, it kind of went away. And I was kind of sad, and I saw it in a movie, and somebody, a monk said it to me, but then someone said to me, Mike, that was a gift. I'm like, you mean like a one-time thing? They're like, no, it was showing you what your potential is. Now you have to work to get there. Well, I'm there now. I've been there for years. I believe this comet is going to have some kind of electromagnetic effect on us when it goes by. It's on the other side of the sun right now. It's about to loop back around like a slingshot. It's kind of looping around. It's going to slingshot around. I believe when it comes back around, I think it's going to have some kind of an unveiling, a next layer of the veil is going to drop, and we're going to be more conscious. And I think for the masses, the people who are maybe religious people and they logically believe in spirituality, but they don't really believe in it, because like if Jesus came, literally, one of the last presentations I said in church was, if Jesus were to walk through those doors, you guys would reject him viciously. And if he were to actually heal people, you'd be like, oh, that's the devil's work. Because imagine someone came up and healed someone that couldn't walk, and they did it right in front of you, and you'd be like, wait, what's going on here? And then they heal someone's eye. Their left eye's been blind since they were 6 years old, and they healed someone else's hand. You would, honestly, if you would freak out, most people would be like, whoa, what the hell? Most people would think, especially religious people, oh, that's obviously being done by the devil, because that's what they're taught in the church. If someone does that, well, it's obviously done by the devil. Really, healing people is evil? Interesting. So I would like to believe more of those people are going to wake up and be open to it and realize like, wow, this is real. Because here's the deal. You can actually have on videotape somebody actually healing someone, and 90% of the time you're like, that's not real. Even before AI, people are like, I don't believe that. It must be some kind of camera trick. Here's another thing I'll notice with people. An actual miracle could be done in front of their face, and they can see it. They can even talk to their friends about, wow, this amazing thing happened. But then about 24 hours, 72 hours later, be like, it's kind of weird, whatever, and just kind of like literally block it out, like, oh, that wasn't real, or, it's like they saw it, they heard it, they felt it happened in front of their face. But a lot of people will kind of just push it aside, like, almost as if it never happened. I think more of those people are going to start to realize, like, wait a minute, I've actually seen quite a bit of this stuff, and I think they're going to be aware of more of it now, or starting very, very soon. And they're going to start going from, oh, that was cool, yeah, let's move on with their life, to going, wait a minute, this is real, this really happened. Or they're going to have a thought and idea in their head, and then boom, it happens the next day. Just a coincidence. Or they're thinking of a friend or talking about, so-and-so Sally, blah, 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 blah. She was so cool. Remember her in high school? Boom, the phone rings, and it's Sally. They're going to go from, I used to say that it was a coincidence. Now, maybe it's not a coincidence. I think people are going to start becoming conscious of this stuff. So here's the deal. I really don't care anymore, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in, I don't know, there's just this lack of resistance in me. And so I'm just going with the flow right now, and I'm going to leave it at that. I know this wasn't the best video, but I wanted to throw something out there for Halloween, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And you know what? I'm going to upload this video anyways. I have no idea where I'm going to go with this channel. I'm hoping, as in the past when I kind of would do this, something clicks, something new happens, and boom, I get right back on it. So we'll see what happens. If you guys have a subject you want me to talk about, or a question, something you want answered, go ahead and let me know. And if I think it's appropriate, or if I'm in the mood, I will do it. That's it. If you want to support the channel, please click subscribe, click the like button, make a comment, and as always, you can go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. And I have that new thing on the 3 buttons on the right, little dots on the right. Click on that, little heart will pop up in a list of things with a $sign in it. You can also donate there. Alright guys, God bless you. As always, you can buy one of my dating and relationship books and or hire me as a coach or energy healer. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.